And now the end is near. Da 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 da. The highway. And now. So I thought I'd end with the little Elvis stallions from the King, Elvis Presley, for you. So, and I did it my way. Do 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 do. I never did know the lyrics to that song. So anyway, we end CinemaCon on another weird note, and now we end it with Lionsgate. And I did not know what to expect from Lionsgate. It always amazes me all the amazing movies Lionsgate has, and I always have to see the Lionsgate sizzle reel to realize, oh my God, Lionsgate did that. Oh my God, they did that movie too. Oh, Lionsgate. For some reason, I never connect movies with Lionsgate because they are such a eclectic studio. I'm not sure if they necessarily have an identity because they're not known for any particular franchise. But they are actually because they do the Saw movies, they do John Wick, they do the Hitman Bodyguards Weiss movies and all that kind of stuff. So it took the Lionsgate sizzle reel for me to realize, oh my God, Lionsgate is an amazing studio. And I really wish CinemaCon would actually release these sizzle reels that these studios put together after the show, because whenever you see one of these sizzle reels, you get really pumped up. You're like gung ho. You're like, grrr! Movies are awesome. They deserve to be seen on the big screen. Whoa, movies! Because that's how I feel every time I watch one of these studio CinemaCon cinema reels. They're just amazing. Whether it's put together by NATO or Universal or now Lionsgate, it just puts you in a good mood. It makes you feel good about the industry, and it makes you go, wow. Contrary to popular belief, there are a lot of amazing movies out there, and when you see it in these sizzle reels, you get sizzled, baby. Sizzled. So, anyway, after that sizzling open, I was pumped. I was ready for Lionsgate. And then David Spitz, the CEO of Lionsgate, comes out. He's wearing a football jersey, a Rams jersey, and I'm like, well, I don't get it. Why is he wearing a Rams jersey? Well, we find out because he talks a little bit about working with. I don't know the names of these producers. I wrote it down somewhere in my I wrote it somewhere. I wrote it down, but apparently, Lionsgate has a really tight deal with these brothers who make faith-based movies, and they're well known for making faith-based movies. But I don't know their names. Sorry, I do this stuff off the cuff with no research because that's how I roll, people. I'll do a fuller thing in the next couple of weeks, but these people have they're in Lionsgate is in the faith-based movie business now, and they have three big faith-based movies coming up. One of them is called American Underdog. So they talked a little bit about American Underdog. It's basically about Kirk Warner, the former Rams. Is it Los Angeles Rams, St. Louis Rams? That team moves around so much I don't even know where they are anymore. I think it was the St. Louis Rams when Kurt Warner took them to the Super Bowl like 8 years ago. I remember that Super Bowl run actually. I used to love Kurt Warner back in the Rams back in those days. Is it the Los Angeles Rams or the St. Louis Rams? Someone tappity tap. I know someone is screaming, "You're a moron, Michelle! It's the blah Rams." I'm not a sports person, really. I watch the Washington Redskins. That's why I'm not a sports person. My local team sucks. And poorly run and everything else. But anyway, so it's a movie called American Underdog. It stars Zachary Levi as Kurt Russell or Kurt Warner. Kurt Russell. What did I get Kurt Russell for? From and Anna Paquin, who I adore, is Zachary Levi's wife, and she looks weird with the short haircut. I know I want to talk about my hair, but she just looks kind of weird. And then also Dennis Quaid is in it playing what Dick Vermeil. And it's a nice little movie about Kurt Warner's life, how he went from being a washed up former college football star, to working in a grocery store, to eventually finding his way back onto the Rams. It's an inspirational story about an underdog who perseveres and reaches the top, and it's a feel good movie. The movie looks really good. We saw 3 minutes of the movie, and then they showed us a clip of the movie, and in the clip is basically Kurt Russell talking to Dick Vermeil, and Dick Vermeil is offering him the job of a quarterback, the quarterback of the Rams, and we get that little moment, and it's nice, and that's it. There's not much to really say about it. It's your standard uplifting football story, but it's based on a true story. So, and I'm a sucker for that, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. After that, there's another faith-based movie called Unbreakable Boy, again starring Zachary Levi. So he's in two movies produced by the same people, because I love these movies so much I decided to do two of them. So Unbreakable Boy is about a boy. It's based on a true story, and it's about a boy who has autism and a rare disease that causes his bones to break. They easily break. Think of the movie Unbreakable, the Samuel Jackson character. That's basically this boy in real life. He has that disease where basically he has brittle bones and they easily break. And then on top of that, he has autism, so he gets the double whammy. And you would call it hokey, but apparently it's based on real life. And Zachary Levi is his father. And basically they show him go through the struggles of raising his kid, but the kid is always really happy and go lucky and says whatever's on his mind, and they show him winning everyone over and everyone falling in love with this kid, even the guy who's trying to bully him. So it's a sweet looking movie. Don't really have much to say about it, but. And then after that, Lionsgate shows a clip of a documentary called The Jesus Music. And again, that is all about, it's a documentary about the rise of Christian rock and the Christian rock movement. So they interview and talk to a bunch of people who are involved in Christian rock. So they could talk to people like BB and CC Wyans and Amy Grant, and that's about the extent I know about the Christian rock music. I'm not a Christian. I'm an atheist. So I don't know much about that. But the movie looks really good. I'm curious about it. I want to watch it. It looks like it's well shot. But I can't really comment on it. After that, we get a look at Roland Emmerich's. The guy who made Independence Day one of my all-time favorite movies. Latest film, Moonfall. And it opens with a 4-minute clip. It's actually basically the first 5 minutes of the movie, and it's basically a clip of these people out in space or on a spacewalk, and they're basically bantering and banterous. And actually, in that short 3 or 4 minute clip, I kind of fell in love with the characters. I'm like, I like these people. I'm gonna spend time with these people. And I should have known. It's Roland Emmerich. It's called Moonwalk. It's a disaster movie. So maybe I should have known better than to get hooked or attached to these people. Because suddenly some mysterious force hits the spaceship and then lands on the moon. So we don't really know anything about it other than the fact that all these rocks or something come out of nowhere and something hits the space shuttle, and it was a weird opening because you have no idea what's going on, what this thing is or anything, and then it cuts to a 3-minute trailer of the movie, and again the 3-minute trailer gives you nothing about the movie other than the fact that something's coming to Earth and we don't really know, and it's a disaster and it's hitting the moon. but that's all we know. So again, I don't really have anything to say because there was no meat to it. There was like, it looked beautiful. And it's a Roland Emmerich movie, so you know it's going to have the scale of a Roland Emmerich disaster movie, but it was kind of like a bit to it. The movie that Lionsgate had that really. Oh, they also showed something called The Devil's Light, which was a movie about another movie based on a true story about a nun who works in a Catholic sanctioned exorcism place in Rome or something. And the nun has a dark past or something, and I guess there's something related to exorcism. And again, the trailer didn't really do much for me. I was like, I don't know. I just don't know. After that, Lionsgate redeemed himself in a really huge way. In my eyes, was probably one of the best trailers of the week. And this was one of the best trailers of the week, one of the most interesting movies of the week, but with a horrible title. And the name of the movie is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And it stars Neil Patrick Harris and the great Nicolas Cage. And what makes this movie so awesome is that basically Nicolas Cage plays himself in this movie. And Neil Patrick Harris is Nicolas Cage's agent. And it is about as bonkers as you expect that basic premise to be. Is you're watching it and you're like, what am I seeing here? Is Nicolas Cage playing himself literally? And playing like a washed up former actor. Is Nicolas Cage literally playing Nicolas Cage? At this stage in his career where he's forced to take any part that he wants that comes along his way. He doesn't have his former glory. It's very meta. And you're like, what is this? And then basically at some point in the trailer, he's hired to spend a weekend with a multimillionaire. I mean, the millionaire is played by Pedro Pascal. And Nicolas Cage doesn't want to do it, but then his agent convinces him, yeah, go ahead and do it. It's the easiest money you'll make, and you don't have anything else better to do. So go ahead and do it. So Nicolas Cage goes there. He forms this friendship, this really deep bond with Pedro Pascal. And you're like, this is hysterically funny and weird. And then at some point, the movie completely twists and goes into a completely different direction where it turns out that Pedro Pascal's character is actually is one of the more major drug dealers in the world, and the U.S. has been after him for years. And so the CIA wants Nicolas Cage to pretend to be the Pedro Pascal's friend, and Nicolas Cage is torn about it because he actually is this guy's friend now because this guy worships Nicolas Cage. So it's like this weird movie that's kind of meta and is about Nicolas Cage's life, but there's actually a story to it as well, and it turns into like this weird action movie. So he's basically a former action star who has to become a real life action star, and it is hysterical and it looks amazing. And at the end of the trailer, the entire crowd applauded. The entire crowd was like into this movie so much, and the audience burst out into applause, and everyone was like just screaming, because we all love Nicolas Cage, and that movie, I think, probably is for me. When I had to do my countdown of the top 10 trailers I've seen all week. I'll do that video next week sometime. But at the moment, I would say that trailer is my favorite trailer of the week. More than the Batman, more than Spider Man, more than Mission Impossible, more than Top Gun, more than One Night in Soho. I think that trailer is the trailer of of the week for me. It's called the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with massive talent, and wow, just wow. That trailer is stunningly good and is everything you love about Nicolas Cage. And it's just it's such an out there premise and it's so unique and fresh and just wow. I love that movie so much. And then after the crowd was on this real high, we were ready for some John Wick or something. So the president came back out and he listed a bunch of movies that are coming up, including Shotgun Wedding with J Lo, Kate Blanchett, and Borderlands. I did not even know there's a Borderlands game, a movie based on the Borderlands game, and it has a stacked cast led by Kate Blanchett, Jack Black is in it, and a whole bunch of other people. I was like, whoa! And then Are You There, God? Is Me, Margaret, based on a popular 30-year-old book, and apparently Hollywood's been trying to make this movie for 30 or 40 years. And then White Bird, which is part of the Wonder Universe, and then John Wick 4. And they gave it a title. It's called John 4 Wick. Get it? John 4 Wick. So the audience, or at least me, I was pumped for some more footage because he gave the lineup and we were like, yeah, let's go for it. And then he's like, and here's some footage, and then walks off the stage and it's basically like a 1 minute reel, like pretty much nothing, like 10-second glimpses of all the stuff I just named. And I'm like, and then the lights come up. And we're all like looking at each other like, wait, what the hell is this? This is a ridiculous presentation. You do 3 faith-based movies, the Nicolas Cage movie, and then you're out? What the heck was that? And the presentation was scheduled for 90 minutes, and it only went like 45, and you're like, what the hell, Lionsgate? That was really a bum way to end CinemaCon. It was a really bummy note to end CinemaCon, and I'm gonna give Lionsgate presentation probably a C or a C minus. I mean, the movies were good. The movies were decent. They had the faith-based movies were kind of decent, and then they had the amazing Nicolas Cage movie, which kind of saved the presentation from being an utter disaster. But the way it ended was weird, and lackluster, and there was no energy. And the president of Lionsgate was kind of stumbling over his words. He wasn't prepared. It was as if I stood up there and had to do a presentation. That's kind of how bad he was. So there's a CEO of Lions. I get all these titles and stuff mixed up because there's so many different presidents. So one was the president and CEO. Was the guy at the beginning, and then there was another guy at the end. I think he was the head of distribution, maybe. So yeah, very disappointing showing from Lionsgate, especially after that amazing beginning, and then you had the amazing Nicolas Cage trailer that really got people pumped, and then you basically just end the show, and it felt like it ended prematurely as well. So. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. So, yeah, Lionsgate. Disappointing. Talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed these. Because I've been doing these instead of doing the write-ups like I should be doing. So, anyway, CinemaCon returns in April, and I will be here. I will be here complaining about Caesars and other things, but ultimately, CinemaCon is my favorite show. If you love film, CinemaCon is the show to go to, especially if you're a journalist. So yeah, and I'm amazed that not many journalists actually cover CinemaCon. You would think it would be a bigger show because a lot of footage and news comes out of CinemaCon, especially in terms of like just all the exclusive footage you see first at CinemaCon. So yeah, interesting week. So talk to you guys later. Bye.